Hello, and welcome to the All A's Show. Is your child avoiding summer reading? Today, I'm going to show you how to inspire your child to pick up a book and read it through to the very end. In this video, I promise to give you three simple but very effective strategies to get your teen's nose out from underneath their bed covers and into some really good books this summer. My name is Annie Adjen, and my passion is helping teenagers achieve their highest academic potential. Kids are more neurodiverse than ever, but schools really only know one way of teaching. I give kids the keys to unlock their own brain power and hack all learning so that it makes sense to their own brain. And I help to transform students who struggle with motivation, organization, and other study skills into academic superstars. I empower teens with the most essential tools for success, and these are tools that just aren't taught in schools. Once your child discovers the keys that unlock the power of the brain, then they will develop a lifelong love for learning. Many teenagers struggle with executive functioning skills, which is just another name for life and learning skills. Some examples of those are time management, focus, memory, and self regulation. And chances are this is your child too. I know teens can be a conundrum to the parents sometimes, and especially when you try to get them to do something that you know will really serve them well, like reading a book when they have downtime during the summer. But I've got just the advice you need to convince them to read. Before we dive in, I want to make sure that you have your free guide to getting your teenager in the reading groove this summer. So just click the link for your own personal resource. Teenagers really do need and deserve a break from the demands of the school during the school year. Hours of homework, jam packed after school activities, and summer's a really important time for them to catch up on sleep and hang out with friends, to get outside, maybe travel a little bit, and oftentimes land their first job, which is exciting. But students lose a tremendous amount of learning during vacation. In fact, studies show that the average student loses between 17 to 34% of the prior year's learning during summer break alone. This can be reversed, though. That's the great news. And it can be reversed by just reading over summer. Find out in this video how you can protect your student from the dreaded summer brain drain with three great strategies to get them into reading. Tip one, road trip reading. Summertime is great for road trips, and road trips are great opportunities for good reads. Give your kids five options of audiobooks that you think they'll find interesting, and out of those five options, let them choose their top two choices. And then listen to these on your road trip. These are called soft choices, and they're very important for kids. It gives them a sense of decision making and automatic buy in. Now, let your kids know before you hit the road that they're going to be alternating. 1 hour listening to the audiobook on the road, and then the next hour, everyone gets to be on their devices. Now, during the listening time, everyone in the car places their telephone or their smartphone in the glove compartment, and there's no exceptions. You are included in this expectation, parents. Well, maybe you can keep one phone out for GPS so you don't get lost. You can get lost in a book, but not on the road. Your younger kids, younger siblings love to police the phones and lock them up and make sure that everyone's being held accountable. Another tip, if you can spring for it, parents, is go ahead and purchase the softcover book for your audiobook choice. Kids really love to follow along while listening to the book, and holding a book occupies their hands and directs their brain. It provides visual input along with auditory. And the dual reading modality, it really empowers the brain and really helps, especially those reluctant readers. And it never fails. Just after a few chapters of the audiobook, your kids will be yelling from the back seat, "Mom, Dad, can you put that book back on?" Instead of saying, "Mom, Dad, are we there yet?" So remember that summertime reading is really, really important, but there are still more free suggestions in the link below. So make sure you click so that you can access all five strategies that we recommend. So next is tip number two. This one's called Hook Them with a Book and Reel Them in with a Movie. So there's a lot of books that have been made into a movie, and these work really well for getting kids into the habit of reading. So you can choose a classic from classic literature like Great Gatsby, Little Women, Hidden Figures, or more contemporary novels like Hidden Figures or Perks of Being a Wallflower, or my favorite, A Wrinkle in Time. And these are all excellent adaptations of books to the big screen. Now, remember to solicit your child's input and then watch the movie trailer of the book of their choice together to familiarize themselves with the plot and the characters. Now, set a movie date on the calendar so that your kiddo knows how many numbers of pages they'll need to read up until movie date. And when they're done with the book, then have a celebratory movie night. And don't forget the popcorn, of course, the best part. We've all had the experience of going to the movies after reading a book, and sometimes we're really surprised that the movie was so different than the book. And sometimes we hate the movie and love the book, or the other way around. And your kids are going to have a very similar reaction as well. And those moments serve as awesome talking points. Your teen's brain in that conversation will be comparing, contrasting, judging, creating, and those are all higher cognitive processes. And these are the conversations that totally combat summer brain drain. Now, parents here, try not to insert too much of your own opinion. Rather, ask more open questions like, which did you like better, the book or the movie? And what would have you done differently if you were the movie producer? And then what you can do is take a look at what other films are currently in theaters or coming soon to the theater and see if they're based on books. And there you have it. Your teen will discover their next great read for summer. The third tip is making reading a family affair. I want you to picture for a moment one of those Norman Rockwell paintings. Can you see one that shows an idyllic family gathered around the radio listening to the evening broadcast? Well, believe it or not, 50 years later, kids really do still want to spend time with family. They want togetherness, just like in those paintings. And sometimes they lead us to believe otherwise, but teens deeply pine for family togetherness. Adolescence is a time of individuation, and that's a period of separation. It's natural to want to spend time away from parents. They have to give us the impression that we're just not so cool to hang out with. It's very natural. However, it's biologically hardwired deep down inside that they want to be together with you. They do feel a sense of being alone during adolescence, and they need the comfort, nurturing, and love and confidence building that can only come from time spent with family members. So, to make reading a family affair, before bedtime, after dinner, everyone grabs their book and a favorite blanket, and everyone piles on the living room couches or floor for about a half hour or an hour to read their summer book selection. Summer evenings are also great for gathering on the back porch or in hammocks. And then parents, you can also throw in a fun incentive like s'mores outside in the chimney or the fire pit after several consecutive days of reading. So don't underestimate the power of teaching by example, mom and dad. Read with your kids. I highly recommend reading the same book as your child, and then that will spur conversation. And offer to read out loud or take turns reading out loud with your son or daughter. Storytelling and story time are sacred, age old practices, and they're still loved by all ages. Summer brain drain is real, parents, but summer vacation doesn't have to mean that your teen turns into a hermit hibernating in their bedroom and forgets everything they worked so hard to master last year. So think about it. Which of the three strategies would work best for your child? Audiobooks for road trips, books with movies, or reading as a family affair? Try all three and let us know what works. There are even more great ideas to get your teen hooked on reading at the link below, 5 total, so don't forget to access your resource. And with this resource, you'll be able to try out all 5 strategies and share your comments and your feedback for our community of parents and students who are really thriving. The Annie Agin All A's Show wishes you a fun summer, safe travels, and very happy reading.